We're back now. Let's talk Commanders. The Washington Commanders continuing to put the pieces together this offseason. And last night, we learned the team is finalizing a deal to hire Daronte Jones as defensive coordinator. Now, he spent the past few seasons with the Minnesota Vikings as the defensive backs coach. He's also a Prince George's County native and a graduate of Bishop McNamara High School. Joining us now to talk more about this is David Harrison, host of the Locked On Commanders podcast. David, always good to see you. Let's talk about the fans' reaction to this. For fans who may not be familiar with Daronte, how would you describe him as a coach, and how do you see his, approach translating here in Washington?
Yeah, I think the reaction from the fans is a little bit mixed. Some people don't necessarily like the lack of experience that he seems to have. Has never called plays in the National Football League. He's never been a defensive coordinator in the NFL, so this will be his first time doing both those things at the pro level. But he does have a good amount of coaching experience, and his background in both college football, professional football, and working for different defensive coordinators, learning different types of styles of defense and systems to run. And he did call plays for 1 year as the LSU defense coordinator. So there is some experience there, just maybe not as much as a lot of people wanted. But then you actually have some other fans who were kind of tired of having seeing the D coordinators who have had that experience and maybe have been fired from other jobs, get other opportunities. So a little bit of a mixed bag there. But I think overall, speed, aggression, and violence of action, I think, is really what you'd expect from the new D coordinator in Washington.
Okay, good insight. Now, as he gets to work with this roster, is there a Commanders player that you can think of that would benefit most from his style of coaching or feel his impact right away?
Yeah, something that Coach Jones has really kind of been credited with really helping put on the map in Minnesota is Josh Metellus. He's a safety who started off really as kind of a special teams type of standout, kind of a local star that maybe people on the national scene wouldn't really know too much about. And then under his tutelage, he's really been able to get Metellus to be a contributor on the defense, to become kind of a Swiss Army knife type of guy. And when I look at Josh Metellus on the film, I'm reminded of Jeremy Reeves. And Jeremy Reeves, Commanders fans love him, know the special teams background about him, but also getting his first opportunity to really contribute to the defense last year. And I just wonder if maybe that is a pairing that could kind of produce the same type of Swiss Army knife ability. And, the idea of seeing Jeremy Reeves maybe rush the passer a little bit more, play a little bit moving forward like he does on special teams, I think it certainly fit the mold.
This is also a bit of a homecoming for Jones. He's a local guy. When you look at his path back to the DMV, what do you find most intriguing?
It's the diversity. You know what I mean? This isn't a guy who's coming from just like one system or one style of play. He's played in some very aggressive, blitz heavy type of systems. He's also played in some cover three systems, which is similar to the type of defense that Dan Quinn and Joey Jr. were running the last couple of years. So he's kind of done the two extremes, and he's done everything in between, and he's done it at the collegiate level, which I think is a little bit unique. He's had stops at Wisconsin, stops at Hawaii. We talked about LSU, and the thing that really stands out is everywhere he's gone, the defense, especially the secondary, the coverage tends to get better every single time he goes somewhere. Of course, it's a team effort, but he has been a part of a lot of solutions throughout his career.
15 seconds. What is Jones's biggest challenge heading into next season?
Unlocking that pass rush. The secondary obviously had its biggest problems, but the first thing to fixing any pass coverage system is getting the pass rush going. So I think that's going to be the first thing he needs to figure out.
All right, good stuff. David Harrison, host of the Locked On Commanders podcast. Thanks so much, David. We'll see you soon.